In this video, I'm going to be doing a video on As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. It's a book and it outlines the power of thought and how what you are thinking causes you to do what you think you do spontaneously. Or you get up and you don't even think about. When you go to the fridge and you grab something out and you don't even know why you did it, this talks about that, how that happens, why these things happen. Everything around you, you might think, why is this happening? It happens because of what you're thinking, because of what you're doing, because your actions, your thoughts, your words. This is all what happens about you. The first opening part of this chapter is As a Man Thinketh, Thought and Character. So how thought affects your character. I've got a lot of quotes here that I may run through that we're going to look at and just how they're going to go. So, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. If you stop now watching and you just thought about that for an hour, good, done, you're done. That is the most important part of this completely. I think if you know that, you'll know everything. So what you think in your heart, what your truest desires, what your desires in here are, what you think over and over again, that's what you are. That's what you do. That's who you are. Those thoughts make you up. Now, I think everything else will help you better understand that. But if you can truly go into that, done. A man is what he thinks, his character is the sum of all his thoughts. A man's thoughts are the seeds that sprout action. This applies to acts that are spontaneous and unpremeditated. So when someone makes a thought, so when you go ahead and make a thought and you don't know why it happened, it's because you've been thinking about it. If you think, oh, I want to eat, I want junk food, I want junk food, I want junk food. Junk food's so tasty, it's so tasty, it's so bad, it's so nice, so nice, so nice. When you go to the fridge and you see like there's chocolates and then there's like chicken and rice, you're gonna take the chocolates. Why you'd have them on the same thing, we'll ignore, but you're gonna take the chocolates all the time because you're thinking it. Now if you think, oh, chicken and rice, that gets me the gains, chicken and rice, that gets me the girls, chicken and rice, that gets me the grades I want, chicken and rice gets me the business I want, well then you're gonna go there and go, chicken and rice, that's the reason. Like, chicken and rice is the reason I'll have money. Chicken and rice is the reason why I'll have the wife I'll love, the family I'll love. I'm gonna eat chicken and rice. So that's how your thoughts are like building you up. Act as the blossom of thought, and joy and suffering are its fruits. It's a philosophical book. I'm gonna say a lot of quotes. Just think through them. I really like this quote. I'm gonna say that about 50 times today. But I'm gonna read this whole quote out. A noble, godlike character is not a thing of favour or chance, but is the natural result of continued effort and right thinking, the effect of long-cherished association with godlike thought. An ignoble and bestial character, by the same process, is the result of the continued harbouring of grovelling thoughts. So, when you meet a guy and he's a super friendly guy, and you're like, how is this guy so nice? Like, how is he like so cool? Like, he's friendly, he's kind, I only met him, he gave me a handshake, he remembers my name, he's like all these friendly, he's asking me about what I do, about how I enjoy certain things, he's complimenting my hair, my shocking goatee maybe, it's just your hoodie, how you fill your clothes out, whatever it is. It's because this man thinks in his head, people around me they're amazing, the people around me are nice. It's like, when you think of humility, I know humility, Google Dictionary would put humility as like thinking less of oneself. But if you think of humility as thinking more of the fellow man, then humility as a characteristic, you think more and more of people, which gives you this characteristic of being really kind to others. And like, isn't that what you want? Like, that's what you truly want. This quote here, it's all about when a man reflects upon his condition and searches for the law upon which is being established, he then becomes the wise master. So, if you want to direct your energies with intelligence and be successful, be productive, be kind, be smart, be all these things, you must, like, the law by which your being is established is that all your thoughts lead to your character. Man is made or unmade by himself. When you understand this and you go through application, self-analysis, and experience all these things, and you just keep running through these, well then you'll understand it and you'll become that amazing character, that characteristics that you want. Uh, If a man can dig deep into the mind of his soul, that he is the maker of character, the moulder of life, and the builder of his destiny, he may unerringly prove, so unerringly is just without a doubt, prove, that knowledge of himself, which is understanding, wisdom, power, in this direction as in no other, is the law absolute. The law, remember, you are made or unmade by yourself. He that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened. For only by patience, practice, and ceaseless importunity can a man enter the door of the temple of knowledge. So, he that seeketh findeth. That's a good one there. So when you're looking for something and you apply yourself to it, you'll get it. If you ask for it, if you look for it, if you truly desire it and work towards it, you're gonna get it. So that's like character. If you really want to be, that's the whole chapter on character. It's a short chapter. It's a very short book, this, about 60 pages. Recommend reading it. Now this is effective thought on circumstance. How you think ends up where you are. You might wonder like, oh, why am I in this situation? Have you thought about how you've thought in the past? It's gonna be why you're there. Now, no exact moment in time. You might be having a really bad moment in time right this second. And that, that's bad. I'm sorry for you. But that's not your complete character. That doesn't mean you're the most evil person. It doesn't mean it doesn't mean you're a horrible person. It just means that maybe one thought, one thing that's going through your head, one series of thoughts that has been running through your head has gotten you to this situation. And that's kind of what happens. So, man's mind, this, once again, great quote. This quote will help you understand. So, your mind is a garden. Your mind is a garden that you can plant. You can garden your own garden. You can have a beautiful flowering garden with joy and thought and beautiful things. Or if you don't, it's not going to flower on its own. No one gets a flowering garden by leaving it. Weed seeds will fall in, and weed seeds will continue to create weed seeds, and it will get more and more weeds. So if you're like negative thoughts will make negative thoughts and will accrue more negative thoughts. But if you get positive thoughts and you put more and more positivity into it, more and more flowers spread in your garden, and the more and more positive you become, and the less chance of weeds growing up when you're in there. So you go through your mind, read out all the negative thoughts, go through all the negatives, take them out, only look at the positives. You go through your mind, you meditate, you practice, you gratitude journal. Gratitude journaling is like this. Gratitude journaling is trying to focus on the positive thoughts, removing negative thoughts and overwhelming them with positive thoughts. It's like gratitude journaling is if you have a flower bed and there's weeds in it, you just put flowers in and you put flowers in. And now those flowers mightn't always grow. So you do it for a week and there's no flowers. And you keep doing it and there's no flowers have grown yet. Then flowers start to bloom and then you want to add more flowers in. So you pull out a weed and you put more flowers in. And you pull out a weed and you put more flowers in. And that's like where your thoughts are coming from. That's how your mind grows and develops. It's by doing this. I need to edit this part out. The outer conditions of your life, the things that are around you, the people that are around you, are always harmoniously related to your inner thoughts. It's not that doesn't mean, like, as I said, right now doesn't mean you're an arsehole, you're a terrible person, but it does mean some thoughts have led you to here. You're not in your circumstance by chance. You didn't get unlucky. You're here by your character. If you're sitting there and you're like, oh, I'm overweight, I'm lazy, lazy is probably your character, but I'm overweight, I'm addicted to smoking weed, I'm not living, I don't have money, I don't have a good girlfriend, I don't have a nice friends. You're not unlucky, my friend. You kind of deserve it. Like, you've been doing it. You've been doing the things to get you there. Like, if 3 years ago you decided, you know what, no more pizza for me. If you're 19 now, when you were 16, you go, you know what, I'm going to start hitting the gym. And you hit the gym once a week. Not very much. And then you hit twice a week. Then you hit 3 times a week. That's your character. You're building your character, which leads to your circumstance now. So your circumstance now is your character. And it means you can still get out. Because that means like anyone's circumstance is character. So if you want a really nice life, you just work on yourself and develop yourself. A man, God, he talks about this. He says, a business problem is always a personal problem. So when something's wrong in the business, he needs to develop himself. I think that's an amazing quote. I think if you follow that, you're going to be doing amazing. That is tremendous advice for yourself, to do that, to just always develop yourself. When you have a problem, if you don't have the good girlfriend, you need to work on yourself. You know why you don't have many good friends? Maybe you're not a good friend. Like, don't shit talk yourself, but work on yourself. Don't always be like, oh, I'm an awful person, but like, I could be better. Not, I'm awful, but I could be better. I'm good, but there's still more to go. It's like a positive look on always self-improving, which is our goal in life, self-improvement. And then I think once you realize that, like, once you realize things are bad because I've been bad. Things are shocking around me because I've been lazy in the past. Then you start to kind of get less sad about it. Like if you're like, oh, I've been so unlucky, my life's awful. Here I am sitting in this stingy room with barely any money for food, looking like shit, no friends. Like, maybe you're not this bad. Maybe you're probably not this bad like most people out there. But maybe it's not perfect yet, and your life's not where you want it to be. And you might, I've been unlucky. When you realize it's not luck, it's what you've done in the past, well then, your future isn't luck. So if you realize right now was 3 years ago, mistakes, well then 3 years from now is right now. So when you're, say, 17, when you're 20, you could have these goals if you work now. Like when you were 14, you didn't hit the gym. You can't go back to be 14 and hit the gym again. But you're 17 right now. You can hit it now. And you can work on your business now. And you can meditate now. And you can read books now. And when you're 20, you'll sit there in your gratitude journal 23 years from now. And you're going to go, damn, 3 years ago, I watched this really weird guy in a lifting hoodie. And he told me some things. And I took that to heart. I'm really proud of myself. I'm proud of myself for how hard I work. I'm proud that I went from a pizza eating lonely person in his apartment to being a successful. There you are, riding down, I don't know, maybe you really like a nice car, maybe a motorbike. You're seeing a beautiful land. You've got a beautiful girlfriend, wife next to you, and you've got a beautiful family maybe on the way if you want to start that young, go later. And you're a smart guy, and someone talks to you about a topic and you understand it, and you know these from books, and you know all this, and you know why that's happened, and you know why you're in that circumstance, because you deserved it, because 3 years ago you started work. And if you're sitting there like, yeah, but 3 years ago I didn't work. But 3 years from now, today could be 3 years ago. So you have to like start now and build yourself up, because then like 3 years down the line, I'm repeating this a lot, but you can be that person. If you work yourself now, you can be that person. Like, that can be you. And you can have this life and you can have this circumstance, and you're going to be happy. Oh, what's happened here? Oh, I flipped my cards around. I've gotten too excited. I think, I'm reading my notes, I think I've talked about that just there. You can learn. I see self-improvement guys and they're like, oh, I've been through the fire, I've been put through this, I lost my family, say I lost this or that. Now, and complacency probably builds that failure and that you learn from. So it's always, Alex Ramosi will talk about this, it's success, growth, complacency, failure. So when you get complacent, that's when you're only learning from suffering, which is when you're only learning from your failure. So when you reap your own harvest, you can learn by the bliss. So when you're growing, you can go, I'm growing now, keep working. I'm working now, keep working. Like, I made this mistake before, but I kind of got like, I started to be like a bit successful with myself. Not that I was a millionaire or anything, but you know, girls were talking to me, or I was kind of getting like, I was being real popular. and then you stop hitting the gym for a little while because you're like, well, I'm cool. And then it's like, well, like I'm still at that level because I didn't drop off and completely get complacent. But if I had kept working, I would have been so much further ahead. So that's kind of like where I learned from. You have to learn from both like suffering and the hard times, but also you have to learn from the good times. And if you can learn from the good times, it's better. I've got more things. If you're in a bad situation, it's not by chance. It's by your character emphasizing it again. And if you're in a good time, it's not by chance. It's because you worked hard, and you should be proud of yourself for what you've done. And you should continue to work. You should learn from how good it is, and that you continue on to learn. And you want to continue to work. I can't speak English. Foreign exchange student there. This is a good quote. Man is manacled only by himself. Thought and action are the jailers of fate. They imprison being base. Base is like evil, bad thoughts. They also are angels of freedom. They liberate being noble. So your thoughts can imprison you, or they can free you. If you're negative, placebo is an amazing thing to talk about during this, because if I'm incredibly negative and my life is, oh, life's bad, I've got low testosterone, well, guess what? You probably do, because you're going to tell yourself to do it. Or, oh, I'm really sick. Well, yeah, you're probably going to get sick. Or if you're positive, like when scientists give power lifters steroids, but it's not steroids, it's a sugar pill. They lift like 8% more, and these are like advanced powerlifters. So you can think like, man is manacled only by himself. Jailers of fate or liberators of freedom. They can be both. So your positive thoughts can liberate you, and your negative thoughts, they can imprison you. Once again, this is another good quote. The man who does not shrink from self-crucifixion can never fail to accomplish the object upon which his heart is set. Think about that. The man who does not shrink from self-crucifixion can never fail to accomplish the object upon which his heart is set. So, the man who doesn't fade away from self-sacrifice is guaranteed success. If you, right now, sacrifice going out one time, sacrifice drinking, give up drinking, well done, congratulations. And you work and you sacrifice an hour of your day every morning. Maybe you sacrifice getting up. You get up a bit earlier and you sleep a bit earlier. And you read a few more books. Self-sacrifice, self-crucifixion. And if you're reading more books, you're going to learn more and you're going to be spending time on it. But the man who doesn't shrink away from any of these things is guaranteed success in life. It's guaranteed that you will be what you sacrifice. What you give up is what you shall receive. The man who, later in this book it says, the man who sacrifices little achieves little. The man who wishes to achieve greatly sacrifices greatly. The man who wishes to attain highly must sacrifice highly. So whatever you sacrifice, you will get, and whatever you want to get, you must sacrifice something to deserve that. That is what this talks about. Thought on your circumstance. So whatever you're thinking, if you're like upset with where you are, it's because you haven't worked hard to be where you want to be. Your situation, say it's like average, that situation isn't bad. The reason why it's bad is because you want to be more, but you haven't worked to be more. Do you get me? So like, it would be okay, except you're destined for more. You desire more, but your thoughts don't let you go for more. So you have to go for more to be happy. And like, you have to sacrifice to get there. So you'll sacrifice your things to be able to succeed in that regard. I think this tracks back to your circumstance. This tracks back to character, and your character is your circumstance. Like, who you are defines what you'll be doing. If you're a smart man and you're successful and all these things, you'll be doing well. Do you know the story, the statistic where people who are more attractive do better? The halo effect. They're more successful. Are they more successful? Are they better businessmen? Maybe not. but you believe they're better people, so they do better. But what if you actually are a better person? It's not just belief, you are a better person, and people believe you are better than even you are. So if you're like 1 through 10, average person's probably like a 3. I know it's probably 5, like that's what you think average is. Nah, it's 3. Then you see like an attractive guy who's an average guy, it's like, oh, he's a 6. It's like, well, he's still a 3, but you think he's a 6, so he kind of seems more like a 6. Then what if someone's actually a 6? Or like actually an 8? And like you're still attractive because you work on yourself and you work hard and you're dedicated, then you view them as a 10. Like when you are both successful and work hard and all these, who you are defines what you'll be, how successful you are. And if you work on who you are and get to be the best you can be, then you can be an incredibly successful person. And this is an old book, so 1902, so it's the first, like, no, sorry, I don't know where to go with that. A quote here talks about how to be a man, or what a man is, and how one becomes a man. I think it's important because I think at least the traditional conception of a man, like this was in 1902, someone who's successful, hard working, all these things. It's not to say a woman can't be successful. I'm just saying a masculine man should be successful, but purposed. Purpose is probably a better word. So this quote goes, "A man only begins to be a man when he ceases to whine and revile and commences to search for the hidden justice which regulates his life. And as he adapts his mind to that regulating fact, he ceases to accuse others as the cause of his condition, and builds himself up in strong and noble thoughts, ceases to kick against circumstance, but begins to use them as aids to his more rapid progress, and as a means of discovering the hidden powers and possibilities within himself." It's a long quote, but it's an important quote. You have to look through these long quotes. Maybe write them down. Go back in the video, write them down. It's important to like think through these. So when he ceases to whine and revile, so I want to become a man, let's say. I want to become a true man. I'm still on my way there. I want to become the best version of yourself, the man's man. You know, Hamza would say like Adonis, you know? The best version of yourself, the best version one could possibly be. My dog's going fucking insane right now. Okay, we'll just leave him there. So when you cease to whine and revile, so it's like, you're a bad circumstance. Oh, I don't like it, I'm sad. Say I'm in a really bad circumstance. Say life's awful, I'm overweight, I'm fat, I'm not enjoying life. I have no friends, I have no girlfriend, I have no intimacy. No one wants to be intimate. Why would they? I'm fat. Circumstance is that. So I blame bad luck. No. I have to stop whining and reviling these. I have to move on. I have to go, no, it's me. I've caused this. I'm not whining. So instead I search for the hidden justice. That's, oh well. Oh wait, so I'm in this awful situation because, oh shit, I've been awful. So you search for that hidden justice. You've like, I've been thinking bad thoughts. I've been thinking lazy. I've been unmanly. I've done these bad things. Okay, so that's why I'm here. Okay, now I get that. So that's your hidden justice. That's regulating. So I'm like, okay, I need to adapt my mind. I'm going to get my head around that. Okay, so I can't be this unmanly, lazy person if I want to be manly. Not exactly rocket science here. Okay, I'll get my head around this. I can't blame anyone else. If I cease to accuse anyone else, where I am is me. No one else's fault. Some people could have influenced you to be here, but you chose to do it. You could be like, oh, I didn't get influence. I got influenced to be here. But you accepted influence. Yes, possible reasons. Generally, no. I'd tell yourself, I wouldn't accept the reasons. If you're in a bad place and you're accusing others like, oh, as influence, that kind of goes back to the first part where you're denying it and you're whining and reviling. So maybe ignore it for now, and then maybe possibly you realize, you know what, maybe I was influenced. And then, well, it'll do you no harm to believe you weren't and just believe it's your fault, and then you can develop yourself truly and better, and then that will come out better. So then you start building yourself up and strong, and no thoughts are strong. It's like, okay, I need to think highly, I need to be good, I need to respect myself. Respecting yourself is an amazing tactic. Like, okay, when you respect someone, you're kind to them, so you're kind to yourself, so you think wise of yourself. But you're also like, well, I respect myself, so I don't want to let myself slip into like obesity. And if you're already at obesity, like you want to get out of it, then you want to respect yourself, so you're like, you're clean, you're working out, you're hygienic, you know, you clean your room, whatever. Like these things, you respect yourself, you come to respect yourself after that. So you're in a shit place and you're no longer complaining, you're not blaming anyone else, and you're not kicking against your circumstance. Like, oh, life's shocking, I can't do this, I can't do this. Like, I can't pay for a €5,000 how to sell course because I'm broke. Well, no, you can't. But you're also like, it says here, use more rapid progress. It's okay, I can't spend 5,000. What do I have? I have time. If you don't have money and you're not in a great situation, I can guarantee you have a lot of time, especially if you kick out all the bad habits. So what do? I read books. Books aren't expensive. Books are cheap. If you can't afford books, YouTube's free. Watch them videos. Watch that. Go to like, search the books, search summaries, search anything you can find on the books if you truly can't afford that. But I don't believe anyone watching this won't be at that position. So when you use that and then you learn and you invest your time, because you don't have money to invest. People who have lots of money use money to buy time. You have lots of time and no money. So use your time to save some money and get some money to a degree, like to always better yourself. And as you do that, you shall become a man. And you shall discover the powers within yourself, your dedication, your hard work, your success. Have I been recording? I have. I got really negative thoughts there that I was not recording, so I'm glad I checked that. My dog's been part of this video now. He's going to be a video. So that's all you have to do. And you'll be like, okay, I'm becoming a man, but like I don't like. I'm a man now and I'm doing this successful, but like, how? I don't know if this will help them. You might be thinking that, like, I'll probably be thinking that when I was reading this. I might have thought that same thing. So I've got a few more quotes. Let a man radically alter his thoughts, and he will be astonished at the rapid transformation it will effect in the material conditions of his life. If you alter your thoughts radically, you become the manliest man, the most successful, most productive man. You become the best, absolute best version of yourself. There's nothing you can improve on. You're gonna be successful. Like, if no one's working as hard as you, you're not gonna be like everyone else. Like, everyone else takes 10 years to get to someplace. If you work hard, like, and they work as an average person, if you work like no one works, and if you dedicate like no one else dedicates, and you sacrifice like no one else sacrifices, you'll have success like no one else. If you want to be a part of the few, you must do what the many don't do. Sacrifice. That's what you have to do. Like Hamza. I'm a big fan of Hamza. Hate him or love him. His story. 3 years, he went from benefits to 100k more. Oh, well, how did he do that? Well, he was lucky. No, he wasn't lucky. Well, he had help. Didn't have help. Well, he had past experience. No, he didn't. So how did he do it? He sacrificed. 2.5 years didn't watch a movie. Didn't play video games. Didn't eat junk food. Worked out constantly. Worked from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Who else did that? Well, who else? Maybe your favourite YouTubers that took 10 years to get to where they are. Do they do that? Well, the people who aren't too successful, what are they doing? Like, are these unsuccessful people sacrificing all that? Well, no, so that's where they're unsuccessful. They're not unsuccessful because they're unlucky. They're unsuccessful because they haven't sacrificed to be successful. They don't deserve the success yet. They don't deserve the success that they want. So, got these notes, but I kind of like just thinking about that. What you sacrifice is what you achieve. Like, you have to sacrifice a lot. Like, depends on the time frame as well. If you want to be the absolute best version, you want to be super successful 2 years time, well, my friend, it's time for 5 a.m. book. Throw your phone out the window. You're not even going to be looking at it. Like, you can look at like content like learning, but books, learning, working, studying, all this, eating clean, doing like 2 meals a day, intermittent fasting, working out harder than ever, and that'll be good. But like, you mightn't see your friends. So if you're younger, like myself, and you kind of want to, like, you're not going to be a teenager again. And that's not to say, oh, drugs, parties, drink, alcohol when you're 9 years old. Like, you'll never be 9 again. Fucking get wasted. No. But don't deprive yourself completely. So, be disciplined. But if a group of your mates say, oh, we're going out for this big thing this Saturday, and it doesn't happen too often, go out. Go for like 6 hours. Yeah, 6 hours could have been working. But it'll kind of motivate you. It might motivate you, might not. But don't deprive yourself completely. And still make your sacrifices, like the instant gratification. But it mightn't be bad to just, deprivation and sacrifice are not the same thing. It's good to remember that. It's hard to remember that, but it's good to remember that. Particular train of thought persisted in, be it good or bad, cannot fail to produce its result on the character and the circumstances. A man cannot directly choose his circumstances, but he can choose his thoughts, and so indirectly, yet surely, shape his circumstances. If you think, I love the testosterone analogy. So, you watch a video, 4 signs of low testosterone, you're going to look at it and go, oh, I have low testosterone. Maybe you actually had high testosterone, but now your body's like, well, I have low testosterone, time to drop my testosterone. But if you go every morning, you wake up and go, I have 950 nanograms per deciliter of testosterone. 950. Maybe you're like, nah, I've got 965. Maybe you're like, nah, I'm beginning, but I still got 600. Look at me. I'm young, I've got this beard, my face is masculine, I've got muscles. Jeez, I did one set of triceps and my triceps are already bigger. Well, then your body's like, the body does the bidding of the mind. If you believe that you are the best, you shall become the best. Now, your actions do determine, but your thoughts will create actions. If you move within, if you become positive within, if you believe you are the best and the greatest in your head, you will work to be the best and the greatest with your actions. And that will it will be like, at first it may seem arrogant, but then that arrogance in your head turns to confidence instead of arrogance. Confidence is the tools to back it up. And then arrogance is just like, I'm the best, and you're sitting at home eating pizza. So that arrogance at first, like, oh, I'm the best, oh, look how good I am, look how good. And then, I'm the best. And then your body kind of starts becoming the best. And then it's confidence. So, thoughts affect the body. It doesn't just affect where you'll be, how you think, how you act. It affects the body, it affects the mind. And that's what this chapter is going to be about. The body is the servant of the mind. This is what I'm talking about with testosterone. It obeys operations of mind, whether they be deliberately chosen or automatically expressed. At the bidding of unlawful thoughts, the body sinks rapidly into disease and decay. The command of glad and beautiful thoughts, it becomes clothed with youthfulness and beauty. So you can become what your thoughts are. Iron, it's my dog. You can become what your thoughts. If you believe you are, the testosterone analogy is an amazing analogy. If you're sitting there as a woman, I'm sorry for all these testosterone analogies, but you can make your body do things that it doesn't believe it can. Or your body, you can just make your body do things. The body's amazing, but the mind's stronger. Like, the body's strong, but the mind's the strongest. It's the determining factor. You know? David Goggins, he probably pushes his mind. His mind's stronger than their body, but a lot of people, they still got more in them. So like, you can make your body do amazing things. So that, if you go, oh, I'm gonna have higher testosterone, you're gonna get higher testosterone. If you believe you can lift this weight, you're gonna lift this weight. If you believe, like placebo steroids, like they're just like sugar pills. If you believe you're taking steroids, you're gonna lift more. Placebo cures diseases. Like, placebo cures a disease. What medication's in placebo? Nothing. So your mind can cure disease. Your mind. But by the same extent, your mind can kill you in the same way. It's said that stress can kill a man just as quick as a bullet. Now, stress may not always be bad. If you think stress is bad, it does affect you. Like, if you take a group of people and they believe stress is bad and another group believes stress is good, they're both equally stressed. The group that believes that stress is bad, they die of stress-related conditions. The people who believe that stress is good, they feel no effects. So the mind can cause you to die sooner just by believing something. So the belief, and if you have constant thoughts in it, that's how it goes. Thought is the fount of action. Thought is the fount of action, life, and manifestation. Make the fountain pure, and all will be pure. Change of diet will not help a man who will not change his thoughts. When a man makes his thoughts pure, he no longer desires impure foods. Clean thoughts make clean habits. I think that's going to be the most important thing. If you wonder why you eat junk food, it's because you probably got negative thoughts. If you had pure thoughts, you'd no longer desire it. Like, when you want to be the best and your desired thoughts, it all align perfectly, you pick up that chicken and rice. When you've negative or base desires, that's like evil desires and thoughts, you go for the stuff that you shouldn't, the instant gratification. Now, mental health alongside that, like, for someone who's got good mental health, it's much easier to follow a diet. But if you have pure thoughts, it's no longer a diet, it's what you truly desire. It's like you build it up so that you always want it. It's no longer, oh, I have to eat chicken and rice. It's, oh, I get to eat chicken and rice. Let's go. I want chicken and rice. I know chicken and rice might not be it, but like, say something bland, like beans, curry beans, pinto beans, whatever, and a bit of rice and some mince, and actually that sounds nice. Anyway, but like, these chicken and rice isn't as good as cake, but chicken and rice doesn't taste as good, but it's much better for you. But when you purify your thoughts, all of a sudden you don't even desire the cake, you want that chicken and rice. And that's what happened. A strong body and a bright, happy, or serene countenance can only result from the free admittance into the mind of thoughts of joy and goodwill and serenity. You can be better just from being allowing thoughts. So like, you might go, oh, how do I control my thoughts? Well, think about it this way. You have two guys who run your brain. Now, the guy who's currently in control, Mr. Negative, he's, he gets stuff done, but not really. He kind of goes, oh, this person's bad, this person wants the worst of me. He's always thinking bad thoughts, negatively. And he's making you think negative thoughts, because he's running your brain. But then you got Mr. Positive. Now, Mr. Positive is on casual employment, as a business teacher would tell you. He's on casual employment. So he comes in when you ask him to. And he'll work overtime if you ask him to. But you never ask him. So Mr. Positive sits there all day, waiting. And Mr. Negative runs your brain, so you think negatively, oh, that person's thinking the worst of me, that person's thinking the worst of me. And then you have a sour face because you've sour thoughts. But Mr. Positive, you go, you know what, I'm going to think positively. So Mr. Positive comes in. Mr. Positive's a really positive guy. And he always thinks good of people. He thinks good of people, and that makes you think good of people. It makes you look good. Like, you walk into a coffee shop and Mr. Negative thinks, oh, look, he's judging me. Look at him with his nice big arms. And he thinks he's all that. He thinks he's better than me. Mr. Positive goes into the coffee shop and he goes, oh, look, he's got big arms. He's a really nice guy. Let me say how good his arms are. Let me go up to him and say how much I love him. I've never met this man. Mr. Positive's never met this man, but Mr. Positive wants you to be happy. So if you employ Mr. Positive all the time, full time, get rid of Mr. Negative. You never need him. Then Mr. Positive comes in and you'll be a lot happier. And a lot. So now, you've got Mr. Positive on full-time employment now, you do. He's no longer on casual employment. So, now think about that. Who's going to want to do business with you? If you want to think about in successful terms. Or in terms for material success. Well, everyone. Who wouldn't? You're a nice guy, you're friendly. But also, who wants to be friends with you? Because at first, if you want to be a business partner, you kind of want to be a friendly person to be around. Well, everyone would love to be your friend. You're positive. Your presence can simply make them feel better. Take this. For example, I was out one time and I was feeling very sick, and I still am sick from this. But I met this person and I was like, they were so, like a friend of mine, so positive. It made me feel better. So this positivity can make you feel better. If you are able to think well, if you're able to think well of yourself, you'll feel better and feel positive. If you think, like, studies done with a group that believes stress is harmful for them and a group that believes stress is good for them, and the group that they're both equal under equal stresses, the group that believes that stress is bad for them, they die from stress related causes, but the group that believes stress is good for them is fine for them. They don't impact this. So your belief on what something is can impact how healthy you are. The placebo effect, it's a common thing. Like, your body can cure yourself with placebo. Like, nothing, no medication, just your mind believing it is being cured cures itself. It's like, oh well, I'm healthy, so get rid of these unhealthy cells. Your body could have done that the whole time, but your mind said, well, get rid of them. I'm healthy. Don't you forget. Body, you do what I tell you. Say on to the mind here. When I go to the body, I'm healthy. And don't you dare say otherwise. So now, get healthy. So if you go, the mind's like all positive, or the mind's like all successful, like goes to the body, it's like, hey, I'm successful. Do some push-ups. Or like, eat right. No, don't eat that chocolate. You don't want that chocolate. You want that. You want the chicken and rice. That's your body will be telling you that. Also, positive person's life, just insane. Like, if a person was in absolute poverty but they were a positive person, to a degree, like they had food, but like they were surviving, that was about it. Their life can be amazing. A person who's negative, their life is awful. Doesn't matter if they're the richest man on earth, if they don't have good up here, life's not good. And that's mental health as well. But it's also how your thoughts. To think well of all, to be cheerful with all, to patiently learn to find the good in all. Such unselfish thoughts are the very portrayal of heaven, and to dwell day by day in thought of peace toward every creature will bring abounding peace to their possessor. Your thoughts can make life heaven. Your thoughts can make life heaven. If you believe everyone's good, if you find the good in everyone, find the good they can find in themselves, life will be good. Because then they treat you well. Because you are the kindest man. You are the kindest person they know, including themselves. If you are able to be that positive, you'll be abounding peace. Your life will be amazing if you can get all them goals done. I'm having awful luck with my camera setup here. Died once and ran out of storage once, so I have to check that a few more times. Right, we're going to go to thought and purpose. This is what I thought I'd cover, so I might brisk over some things, but I've already talked about it for 20 minutes you didn't know about, so. Aimlessness is a vice, and such drifting must not continue for him who would steer clear of catastrophe and destruction. A man should conceive of legitimate purpose in his heart, set out to accomplish it. He should make this purpose the centralizing point of his thoughts. Man should focus his entire being to his purpose, for this is the way of self-control and concentration of thought. So, purpose, your mission, your goal, your striving force, thing that gets you up in the morning, whatever you'd like to call it, thing that you desire most. Every person should have one, not just the ultra successful. Like, if you're an average college person, you might go, well, I just want a good life. I don't want to be multi-millionaire. I don't need a purpose. Oh, my friend, you'll fail, you'll succumb to your whims, your everyday fancies, your instant gratification desires, because you have no purpose, you have no spine. Without a spine in your back, you'd fall completely. You don't have to have the world's strongest spine, but you need it. Like, for you to go about everyday life in like an anatomy sense, you require a spine. That's not to say you're spineless for not having it, like, in a sense, but like, you need a spine to stay upright. Now, you need an incredibly strong back and like muscles around it and everything to be able to, say, lift weights. But to function in any way, you need that spine. So if you think of your purpose as the spine, and then your sacrifices as the muscles, this might be an amazing analogy, or it might be stupid. Well, you need the bones and you need some muscles. And if you don't have that, you fall completely to a blob. So without that spine, you're done. So if you have no purpose, you're done. But if you have a purpose, but if you succumb to your every whim, your every instant gratification, and so you have no muscles, yeah, you've got solid shape, but you're still a blob. Your skin wrapped around a bone. Now, if you have basic muscle and you have a basic back, you might fall over. You might get back up again. You might fall over again, get back up again. You mightn't go very far. You mightn't do many things, but you'll stay up. So, you might have a reasonable thing. You mightn't be put through immense pain, but you won't be living a millionaire lifestyle either. That's not too bad. But if you have your purpose, you fucking dedicate yourself. You get, say your back is as strong as can be, your muscles are as strong as can be, your tendons are as strong as can be, you're locked in solid. Then your goal that you set out for, you're achieving that. And these fancies, boom, instant gratification, knock it out of here. Bad habits, gone. Because they're here, you're there. You're focusing in on your purpose. You're not looking out, oh, there's cake there, oh, there's weed, there's alcohol, I want to drink, I want to smoke, I want to go pick dandelions in the field. No, you're fucking at your purpose. You're going dead at it. That's what you should be doing. That's your goal. Because if you want to have good up here, everyone talks about it. Every successful people talk about it. If you want to be happy in the head, from majority men at least, hard work, that's what will get to you. That's what will give it to you. Purpose, self-satisfaction, and working hard and doing it well. That will all bring you joy. That's what you need. That's what a purpose is for. My notes, I need to keep moving. Purpose. I've got more on it here. I think this is a good quote. I think it's important to remember. I think it defines a lot of successful people, or a lot of successful people could find resonance in this. And I'll tell you once I check my camera. Yeah, okay. Let's charge it. Happy days. Even if he fails again and again to accomplish his purpose, as he necessarily must until weakness is overcome. The strength of character gained will be the measure of his true success, and this will form a new starting point for future power and triumph. So, even if he fails again and again to accomplish his purpose, the strength of character gained will be the measure of his true success, and this will form a new starting point for future power and triumph. So if I set out on my purpose, I would say, take this channel, I go, next year I'll have 1,000 subscribers. And I go, by next year, I don't. Well, weak me, or a weak person, oh, I didn't get 1,000 subscribers, I'm done with this YouTube channel. Throw the thing away. And that's not to say like, oh, I got 999 and then throwing the channel away. It's like, say I got like 300. Well, I got 1,000, didn't get 1,000, maybe this thing isn't cut out for me, goodbye, I'm done. But then the strong, the person who's dedicated to that purpose, that 1,000 subscribers, that success, that YouTube channel that they want, they go barrel down the straights for it. They go, okay, I didn't get that. Why didn't I get that? Oh, I made this mistake. So they learn from their mistakes firstly. They're learning from their mistakes. They go, okay. Well, the business, say the YouTube channel, the business, it didn't grow, but I grew as a person. So I succeeded because now I'm stronger. Before I went too much. I was too much on my desires, like instant gratification, what I wanted that moment, that second, that day, only that day, that week, or that month. It wasn't 5 years time, I want to be the most successful man, I want to be the strongest man, I want to be a dominating, powerful, wise man. It was, oh, I kind of want cake today. I kind of want to watch YouTube today. I don't want to study. It was, I really like that thing. No. That was what you were like in the beginning. Say, like, oh, I want that today. I want that today. Maybe today is pretty good for some people. Like, oh, well, it's this day instead of this second. Maybe we'll say, oh, I want this week. But then, by the end of it, you're thinking in years. And as a quote is, it's a dangerous man who thinks in decades. Now you're thinking in years. Not decades, but years. So like 5 years time, I'm going to be the best man. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be worth 100 million. Now 5 years, you're sitting here with 300 subscribers. Like, how's that going to happen? Well, you're going to fucking work hard for 5 years. And you're dedicating that forward. And that success from going from, oh, I want this today, to, in a year's time, I'm going to be this. In a year's time, I'll have 6-pack abs. In 5 years' time, I'm going to be working hard. In 5 years' time, I'm going to have a house in the base of Spain. I'm going to have a house in New York City. I don't know. Your goals, and you see that in 5 years' time. You vision 5 years' time, and you can see how you're going to get there. That will be your measure of success. That development in your head. Not the fact that you're at 300 subscribers. The fact that you went from, oh, I want this today, to, I want that in 6 years. That's a huge success. The weakest soul, knowing its weakness and believing this truth, that strength can only be developed by effort and practice, will thus, believing at once, begin to exert itself, and adding effort to effort, patience and patience, and strength to strength, will never cease to develop, and will last grow divinely strong. To put away aimlessness and weakness, and to begin to think with purpose, is to enter the ranks of those strong ones who only recognize failure as one of the pathways to attainment, who make all conditions serve them, and who think strongly, attempt fearlessly, and accomplish masterfully. When you're weak, say you've just started gym, well done, congratulations. You're not that strong. Like, yeah, you might be strong in some, you might be weak in some, but you're not where you can be. So you train, you strengthen your muscles, you break them down, you build them up, you break them down, you build them up, and now, here's time you're looking a lot better than you were. And that's good. You could do the same for the soul, the mind, the grit, the determination. The weakest soul knowing its own weakness. So now you know, oh well, I kind of go to my whims a bit too much. I need to strengthen that. So you do, and you work on it. So you put effort to effort. You work hard after, over and over and over, effort to effort, and you become stronger. And you're patient, and you become mentally stronger. And then if you do that, you can enter the ranks those few hyper successful people, the few who don't see failure, who have conquered failure. Failure no longer exists in their minds. Because what only exists is success and learning. At any given moment, they are succeeding or they are learning. Both are success. So there is only success for these strong few, and you begin to enter them by this training, by this determination, by this grit. You enter this few who are determined and who don't believe in failure. Because when these people, they're good. When they're in a difficult situation, they use this difficult situation to learn, to get better. And they always succeed. And they always succeed because it's the only option. They succeed and succeed. Like, what am I going to do? Succeed. What's the other option? It's not, what do you do if you fail? I don't fail. I can't fail. Failure does not exist. Those are the people who are succeeding. These people, they set a goal. Take this 1,000 subscribers. I take a channel and I go, next year I'll have 1,000 subscribers. Say, I'm already this person who thinks in the decades. I think in decades. So I'm one of those few. And by this time next year, I'm at 400 subscribers. Well, what happened? Well, actually, I learned how to make better content. And I realized that I went too far. I went down the route of trying to be popular, and that didn't work for me. So people didn't like me. So they didn't subscribe and they didn't stick around. And I had a few viral videos that got me a few subscribers, but then I lost them subscribers. So I learned that. I learned to be myself. I learned to make the content I enjoy. But I learned making regular content too. So then the next year, some people, they might get that 1,000 subscribers and they'll make no changes. These are the people that only learn from suffering. So these people get their 1,000 subscribers and the next year they get 2,000. Well, this man, he gets 400. But the next year he's at 10,000. Now why is he at 10,000? Well, because he took what most people take 5 years to learn and learned it in 1. Because he didn't go, oh, well, I failed at 300. No, I learned with 300 subscribers. So this man, he's guaranteed success because he only believes in success. He only believes success is the only option. The only constraint is time, when he will be successful. It's not if, but a when. To be a part of those few is impressive. If you ever, I believe everyone can make it there. It takes dedication and sacrifice. But when you do, you'll be successful. Whatever you desire, you shall achieve. Isn't that right, Ernie? My dog's joined me for this. Don't feel failure, as the failure is sure, and no success can be had. The will to do springs from knowledge that we can do. Doubt and fear are the great enemies of knowledge, and he who encourages them, who does not slay them, thwarts himself at every step. He who has conquered doubt and fear has conquered failure. Thought allied fearlessly to purpose becomes creative force. He who knows this is ready becomes something higher and stronger than a mere bundling of wavering thoughts and fluctuating sensation. He who does this has become the conscious and intelligent wielder of his mental powers. If you no longer feel failure, you'll do a lot more things. If you go, I'm afraid I'm not going to be good. Of course you're not going to be good if you've never done it before or whatever. What if I'm like, oh, I don't want to start a YouTube channel because I mightn't get 1,000 subscribers next year? Or the person who goes, I'm starting a YouTube channel and I hope to get 1,000 subscribers next year. And then someone goes, what if you don't? Well, what's this person say? What if he's got a dick, he's got an arsehole friend. He goes, his friend asks, what if you don't get 1,000 subscribers? Well, this man has no doubt in his mind that he'll achieve 1,000 subscribers. And he goes, well, if I don't get 1,000 subscribers, what matters? Because he's not afraid of them. So, what if I don't get 1,000 subscribers? Would a year's worth of challenging this making content not still prove beneficial? And the friend goes, well, yeah, I guess so, yeah. This weak friend is too positive, negative to do these things. Well, I don't fear failure. Failure does not exist. Doubt and fear are the enemy of knowledge, so I wish to be knowledgeable, so I have no doubt in my success, and I don't fear not succeeding. And if I do not achieve success next year, it will be the year after that. That's the only option. What if it's the year after that? Well, then I will have learned many, for it to be many times more successful the year after that. And if it's not that year, it shall continue on until I make enough sacrifices and I learn enough, and I succeed in many ways to reach me to my end success. And that's the person who guarantees success. That's the person who implements this knowledge that he has and is guaranteed success in life and achieves the greatest of things. Purpose and thought and belief, all those allied together, and it's an unstoppable force. This person, come rain or shine, who's going to stop them? Their own fears can't. They don't exist. Their own, what most people would classify as failures, failure does not exist. So for this person, well, I haven't failed, I've learned. What if I do fail? Or what if I don't succeed next year? Well, I will have learned, and who cares? I will have knowledge. This person achieves what they've set out to achieve. This person goes, I want 100 kilos by then. I want to bench press 100 kilos at 60 kilos by the end of the year. They might get it this year. They actually very will get it this year. Because this person doesn't fear failure. So they only believe in success. They only believe in success. So their mind is like, well, success is the only option. So their mind powers forward to give them that success. This person will succeed. And even if they don't next year, they will have learned, well, actually, I realised my training benefits from this. I realised I developed strength this way better. I realised all these things. And then next year, they'll get like 150 at 60. They'll be so many times more successful because they don't believe that success exists. We're going to be going into another chapter now, thought factor in achievement. So, succeeding. I may have already transitioned into this from purpose. I kind of blur through them, but this one should be hopefully dedicated. A man's weakness and strength, purity and impurity, are his own, and not another man's. They are brought about by himself, and not another. His condition is also his own, and not another man's. His suffering and his happiness are evolved from within. As he thinks, so he is. As he continues to think, so he remains. A strong man cannot help a weaker unless that weaker is willing to be helped, and even then the weak man must become strong of himself. He must, by his own effort, develop the strength which he admires in another. None but himself can alter his condition. If you want to change, you have to do it. And if you have bad things happening to you, you kind of deserve it, because you brought it upon yourself. But that means if you've got good things happening to you, well done. You've brought it upon yourself. You're not happy because someone else, you don't have a successful life because someone else did this for you. You're not successful because someone else did something for you. You're successful because you worked hard. That's not to say other people couldn't have helped you during your success, but you are successful by your own fruition. But you can also be sad by your own fruition. So everything is your own. So you must accept responsibility for everything in your life. And then you must realize you can change these things. And that will lead you to success. He who has conquered weakness and put away all selfish thoughts belongs neither to oppressor nor oppressed. He is free. A man who only can rise and conquer and achieve by lifting up his thoughts. He can only remain meek and abject and miserable by refusing to lift up his thoughts. A man can only remain weak by refusing to lift up his thoughts. So if you think, you might have some negative thoughts right now, you might be going, well, you know, what, all this positive stuff, that's good, but what if I stay weak? The only way you stay weak is by having negative thoughts. The only way to get successful is to have these positive and working thoughts and always believing in success, like I've been talking about. Always believing in success. And you might go, well, no, well, what if I stay weak? You can't, because the only way you stay weak is by you being negative and you having negative thoughts. And if you completely remove these negative thoughts, there is no way which you cannot achieve. That's what will happen. Before a man can achieve anything in worldly things, he must lift his thoughts above slavish animal indulgence. He may not, in order to succeed, give up all animality and selfishness by any means. Just a portion of it must at least be sacrificed. There can be no progress, no achievement, without sacrifice, and a man's worldly success will be in the measure that he sacrifices his confused animal thoughts and fixes his mind on the development of his plans and the strengthening of his revolution and self-reliance. And the higher he lifts his thoughts, the more manly, upright, and righteous he becomes, the greater will be his success, the more blessed and enduring will be his achievement. When you sacrifice things, you can become successful. You cannot be indulgent and successful. Now, one does not have to be perfectly pure for it to be successful. Like, I think of gold in this example. Gold is not perfectly pure. It's even best if it's not perfectly pure. But it's still desirable because it's got a higher purity. So you try to bring yourself to a higher purity. Not perfection, but closer to it. And that will lead you to success. And you can only be successful by doing this. There is no other option. You can't be indulgent and successful. It's not a thing. You have to sacrifice. And if you sacrifice a little, you'll get little. If you sacrifice a lot, you'll get a lot. So whatever you do sacrifice, it shall be worth it. The more you do it, the more it comes. For what you give, you get in return. Spiritual achievements are the consummations of holy aspirations. He who lives constantly in the conceptions of noble and lofty thoughts, who dwells upon all that is pure and unselfish, will as surely as the sun reaches its zenith and the moon its full, become wise and noble in character and rise into a position of influence and blessedness. Spiritual achievements are the consummations of holy aspirations. We'll ignore spiritual. Business achievements, say monetary achievements, are the consummations of successful aspirations. That's probably best. So monetary achievement or material achievements are the consummation of successful aspirations. So if you constantly aspire to be successful, you'll get your monetary things. If you always indulge in how you are going to be successful, your thoughts are how you're going to be successful when you are successful, knowing you are successful, knowing there is no chance in your failure and there's only a chance in your success, well then you become successful and you achieve that like desire of getting the material stuff by constantly indulging in the thought of success, always thinking of it. To be noble, a godlike character involves in noble and lofty thoughts. A successful person indulges in successful, hard-working, sacrificial thoughts. Thoughts that are always working, always thinking about success and how you'll be the best, and how you'll be the best. That's that. Achievement of any kind is the crown of effort, the diadem of thought. By the aid of self-control, resolution, purity, righteousness, and well-directed thought, a man ascends. By the aid of animality, indolence, impurity, corruption, and confusion of thought, a man descends. When you I've talked a lot about this. For achievement of any kind is the diadem of effort. Whatever you achieve, it's it's because of your effort. Whatever. Religion, say you become super pure, it's because you put effort into it. You become super successful, it's because you put effort into it. And you do this by thinking highly. You think of success, you think of purity, you think of kindness, you think of love, you think of joy, you think of self-crucifixion. A man who doesn't shy away from self-crucifixion by any means cannot by any means not achieve success. There's no way he fails. So if you think these thoughts and you work towards it, you'll be successful because you put in the effort. But if you think negative thoughts, you won't. You'll drop below what you have. You'll fall. You'll become indulgent, animalistic, base, not pure, by indulging in these thoughts. But on the contrary, you can become highly pure and joyous and loving if you believe in loving and joyous and pure thoughts. I've realised I've been recording a long time, almost an hour and 20 minutes. So if anyone's still here, it's pretty impressive. So we're going on to vision and ideals. I might be talking a little bit slower or whatever, but I'll do that. He who cherishes a beautiful vision, a lofty ideal in his heart, will one day realize it. I'm going to explain this with examples now. He who cherishes a beautiful vision, a lofty ideal in his heart, will one day realize it. Think to yourself, what is your vision? What is your ideal? Say me, I'm going to be I want to be a super successful business, let's say. And I want to be the best. Will one day realize it. And I'm always thinking about this. I'm always thinking about how I can be it. So Columbus cherished a vision of another world, and he discovers. Copernicus fostered the vision of a multiplicity of worlds in a wider universe, and he revealed it. Buddha beheld the vision of a spiritual world of stainless beauty and the perfect peace, and he entered into it. To desires to attain, to aspires to achieve. Shaman's basest desires receive the fullest measure of gratification, and his purest aspirations starve for lack of sustenance. Such is not the law. Such things can never obtain, ask and receive. If you truly believe in something, and you always engage in it, you always think about how you're going to be successful. Say you right now, you want to be successful, you look at, you're super successful, these YouTubers online, how they've got everything you want. You always vision yourself in there. You always go how you're going to do it, what you're going to be doing. You always think about this. And you're moving within. So your mind is always developing. Now, you hear of manifestation, and sometimes it's like, oh, it's science. If you think about it, it appears. No, well, you're not some voodoo magic. I'm not telling you if you believe you're going to have 100 million sitting under a plant pot next to you, it's going to appear there. Look, no 100 million. But if I believe I'm going to be like, I'm going to work, or I'm going to be this successful, I'm going to work this hard, I'm going to be amazing, I'm going to be smart, I'm going to be successful, I'm going to be strong, I'm going to be rich, I'm going to be all these things. Well, then my mind, I start developing this. And then subconsciously I start doing things to be this. And then consciously I also make the effort. Because my subconscious makes it my absolute purest desire. So I work towards it at all times. And I'm always visioning this. So then I always make it there. Because I'm always visioning my success. Same way, if you always vision yourself as a failure, if you always see and you always say, I'm going to fail, I'm going to not succeed, I'm going to end up as a failure, you probably will. Because your subconscious will go, I'm a failure. A failure eats cake, eat cake. But if you go, I'm going to be strong, strong man eats chicken and rice, you're going to eat that chicken and rice. So by the same principles, you can either be successful or you can be a failure. It just depends. Which one do you want to choose, my friend? Your vision is the promise of what you shall one day be. Your ideal is the prophecy of what you shall at last unveil. You always have to vision this, your dreams, your ideals, what you'll be, who you're gonna be, what you're gonna have, and then always know you're going to have it, then subconsciously you'll get there. Subconscious will eat your conscious mind always working towards it. And you may think, well, I want to just read this next one out, but I want to tell you something. You might sit here and go, oh, I've literally no money in my bank account. Literally none. I don't even have a bank account. Why would I have no money? And you might go, well, I don't think I can make it to 100 million. But for the people who are at 100 million, like maybe you go, oh, you know what? I can't be Alex Ramosi. I can't be worth 100 million. I'm not. I can't be. Well, at one point, Alex Ramosi's dream was to be worth 100 million. At one point, it was a dream. Just a dream. The greatest achievement was at first, and for a time, a dream. Everything starts as a dream. Meaning, everything can be achieved if you are to dedicate yourself towards it. It could definitely be achieved. Your circumstances may be incongenial, but they shall not long remain so if you perceive an ideal and strive to reach it. You cannot travel within and stand still without. If you always see this vision of yourself, say you want to play NBA or something, and you go, I'm going to be an NBA player, I'm going to be an NBA player, I want to be an NBA player, I want to be an NBA player, and you're right now, you are broke. Your family says broke, and you're a young guy, and you don't know. You might be like, I don't know if I can do this, man. I'm going to be an NBA player. But like, I'm kind of in the shits here. Like, most people didn't come from this like poverty that you're in, say. But if you genuinely believe it, and you always in your head you believe you're gonna achieve it. You're gonna slowly, you'll start shooting hoops. You'll do these things, you'll work towards it, you'll always be interested in it, you'll be learning, you'll be striving, sacrificing. People go, do you want to drink? No, I'm going to be an NBA player. Do you want to come out and smoke weed? No, I'm going to be an NBA player. Do you want to party? I'm going to be an NBA player. Do you want to skip sleep? No, I'm going to be an NBA player. Do you want to skip a workout? I'm going to be an NBA player. Do you want to indulge with me? I'm going to be an NBA player. Every decision you make, you're going to be, I'm going to be an NBA player. And it's in your head. When you vision these things, that becomes your subconscious, which means you say no to these things because you want to be that NBA player, and you're no longer an indulgent man. You're here striving for your success because you genuinely believe you can achieve it and you will achieve it because you believe it, and that your actions follow what your beliefs are, and your dreams of it achieving and will follow that, and you will achieve it because of that. I think so. I've talked a lot about achievement. Now, the last chapter is called Serenity. It's my shortest, very short, and I think Serenity would describe all the other ones, all the other chapters here, and all the other times that we've talked. For the past hour and a half, I've been talking to you. It's a bit out how to achieve success. But Serenity, this chapter, it's about purity of your mind. How to create the mind. All these chapters about the mind and how to use it to your advantage. Serenity is about how the mind can make a situation bad or good. Not how to get from a bad situation to a good situation, but how from a serene man, pure person. Just life can be joyous, even in adverse situations. I'll read this. I'll read one card at a time. To have calmness of mind, you must undergo long and patient effort in self-control and have great understanding of the laws of thought. A man becomes calm in the measure that he understands himself as the thought of all being, for such knowledge necessitates the understanding of others as the result of thought, and as he develops a right understanding and sees more and more clearly the internal relations of things by the action of cause and effect, he ceases to fuss and fume, and worry and grieve, and remains poised, steadfast, serene. The calm man, having learned how to govern himself, knows how to adapt himself to others. So this calm man, he understands thoughts. He understands this book so well. He understands everything so well that he no longer has problems. He's no longer angered or irritated by any, because he understands by which they are angered and irritated. He has so much understanding of everything that he remains poised in every situation. He isn't annoyed, he isn't infuriated, remains poised and calm. And he understands that he has pure love. Even those who may not receive it, he can still love. He loves all, and that brings him the joy. Brings people around him the joy and makes everyone around him joyous. But even if everyone around him wasn't joyous, he would still be joyous and he could still make them joyous. Because he is knowledge, he's calm, he's peace, he's happy. He's all these things because he has a true understanding of everything, because he's dedicated himself, he's sacrificed things, he's worked hard, and this has led to him being happy and serene, calm, tranquil. The more tranquil a man becomes, the greater is his success, his influence, his power for good. Even the ordinary trader will find his business prosperity increase as he develops a greater self-control and equanimity. For people will always prefer to deal with a man whose demeanor is strongly equable. So, when you are a strong person, equable, calm, loving, someone gives out to you and you give them a hug. That's what I think. So, like, this person is so calm and serene that someone could scream in their face and they'd be able to hug them. And this isn't to go, oh, well, he can't fight back. No, it's the fact that he genuinely wants to. He's happy to hug this person. He believes this person deserves love. He believes he is loving. He does all these loving things and he's calm. And everyone wants to be around him and everyone is looking towards him. Because Mr. Positive is, if we go back to that, Mr. Positive is employed by him. Only Mr. Positive exists. And that makes him happy. It makes everyone around him happy. And makes life successful. Makes everything he does successful. Yes, humanity surges with uncontrolled passion, is tumultuous with ungoverned grief, is blown out by anxiety and doubt. Only the wise man, only he whose thoughts are controlled and purified, makes the winds and the storms of the soul obey him. So he stands with everyone around him, tumultuous, angered, whims of their emotions, controlled by their emotions. All that is going around him, he's still steadfast. He's stood there, calm, serene, and he's successful because of it. Right, last one. Tempest-tossed souls, wherever you may be, under whatsoever conditions you may live, know this. Okay, I'm going to end on this. Think through all the chapters. Tempest-tossed souls, wherever you may be, under whatsoever conditions you may live, know this. In the ocean of life, the isles of blessedness are smiling, and the sunny shore of your ideal awaits their coming. Keep your hand firmly upon the helm of thought. In the bark of your soul reclines the commanding master. He does but sleep. Wake him. Self-control is strength. Right thought is mastery. Calmness is power. Say unto your heart, peace be still. That was As a Man Thinketh, the whole book by James Allen. That's the notes, but I'd recommend you read it. This is my summary. Everything I say is my interpretation. Everyone interprets it different. That's why you should read the book. The book will take you an hour to read and 3 hours to understand. It's about 60 pages. You could read it back to front in an hour. To understand it takes much longer. It's a book you could read 5 times and still not understand it. I've read it about 3. I took notes on it the 3rd time, and I still think I could learn from it. You learn from it the power of thought. Where there is no failure, there is only success. We only believe in success when you haven't achieved success. You learn, or you are yet to achieve success. You are only a time frame. When you are calm, success is guaranteed, because people wish to be successful alongside you. Your thoughts determine your character, and your character is your circumstance. So you cannot change your circumstance. in any given second, but your thoughts can govern your circumstance indirectly. You may think that thoughts can only, your thoughts are just wishy-washy. Your thoughts, if you move within and believe in within your thoughts, by the time these take root, you shall have already taken action. That's the book. Right? Continue on your journeys of success. See you.